Hello, I'm Dr. Rani Gujari, convener Women Empowerment Cell. I would like to welcome you all for this interactive session today. The theme of the day is The Best Thing About You is You. Before we go into the session, I would like to draw attention to our Women Empowerment Cell at St. Joseph's Degree and PG College. This cell has been established in 2014. Our vision is to empower women to realize their potential and compete for equal opportunities in building a successful home and as well as a career. Thus, the mission is to uplift the girls socially, financially, as well as intellectually. We conduct various awareness camps like health camps, legal camps, entrepreneurial, defense techniques in order to equip our girls with the right knowledge for a life of equality, empowerment, personal enhancement, and also professional success. For this, apart from our educating our girl students, we believe in educating the boys as well. And it should be noted that St. Joseph's boys take a very active participation in empowering girls in the college as well as in the society. The qualities are imbibed right from the BBA first year to PGDM. Our father principal, Reverend Father Dr. D. Sundar Reddy, is a pioneer in this respect. He has been in all aspects of a woman empowerment pioneer. He has taken so many efforts to lead our college to what it is right now. So, with no further ado, let us start today's program. I now invite Firdos, our student convener for Women Empowerment Cell, to take over the session. Firdos, over to you.
I, Firdos, on behalf of St. Joseph's Degree and PG College, deem it an honor to introduce Father Dr. D. Sundar Reddy. Father Dr. D. Sundar Reddy, Principal, St. Joseph's Degree and PG College, has a wealth of experience in leading higher educational institutions. His qualifications include a doctoral degree in English language teaching from JNTU, Hyderabad. Father has published various research articles in reputed international and national Scopus Index journals in domains of management, education, and literature. Under his able leadership, St. Joseph's Degree and PG College was awarded as the leading higher education institution of the year for achieving excellence in providing skill-based education programs by Brainfeed in 2019. Best Autonomous College by Ambitious Career Counselors Hyderabad in 2020. Certificate of Recognition for Excellence in Industry Academia Interface in EL's 16th World Education Summit, which was hosted by the Government of Telangana and co-hosted by Telangana State Council of Higher Education. I would now invite Father to address the gathering. Sir, please.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Firdaus, for your kind words. Good morning to all on the screen and then off the screen. It is my privilege to talk about women empowerment. Women empowerment topic is good. All the panel members are women except the principal, I think. So, as Madam said, equality should be brought about. I was reading a book and then this thought came to me strikingly. The supreme goal for humanity is not only equality, but connection. Connection in what sense? People can be equal, but still be isolated, not feeling the bonds that tie them together. Equality without connection misses the whole point. When people are connected, they feel woven into each other. You are part of me and I'm part of you. I can't be happy if you are sad. I can't win if you lose. If either of us suffer, we suffer together. This blurs the borders between human beings, and what flows through those porous borders is life, love. Love is what makes one. It ends the urge to push the other out. As famous philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre puts it, the other is a threat to me. If the world recognizes the other as a threat, then I don't think equality or empowerment would provide equal opportunities for women. The thinking and mindset of people should change, that physically we are different, psychologically we should be one or we can be one. Opportunities wise, it can be one, and that is the goal. The goal is not for everyone to be equal. The goal is for everyone to be connected, because as we understand, physically man and woman cannot be equal, but we can stay connected. The goal is for everyone to belong to each other. If somebody belongs to me, I take care. If somebody doesn't belong to me, I don't take care. I go all out to help people if I feel that they belong to me. If they don't belong to me, I can see and walk away, even if they are in dire need. So the goal is for everyone to be loved. That is what matters. Love is what lifts us up. The women empowerment can happen and will happen if only we show love towards each other. When we come together, we rise. And in the world we are building together, everyone rises. No one is exploited because they are poor or excluded because they are weak. There is no stigma and no shame and no mark of inferiority because you are sick, or because you are old, or because you are not the right race, or because you are the wrong religion, or because you are a girl or a woman. There is no wrong race or religion or gender. We have shed our false boundaries. We can love without limits. We see ourselves in others. We see ourselves as others. That is the moment of lift. And if this can be practiced in our daily lives, my dear friends, women empowerment is not far from achieving. Consider them as one with you. Accept them, encourage them, stand by their side, tell them, I am with you. If we read today's Deccan Chronicle paper editorial, the editorial is about all the rapes that are happening in the country and the society that is being uh, affected by these crimes, and mostly it is lower caste people who are affected. So caste is playing a role. What is the solution to come out? As madam said, we have to train the boys also. We also have to train the girls, change their mindset that we are one, traveling on the same planet, heading towards the same goal, and having the same purpose in life. The purpose is to love, not to compete. The purpose is the other is my friend, the other belongs to me, not other is my threat. So, with these opening words, I welcome all onto the board. I wish all the best to Firdaus, the student coordinator. I wish all the best to Rani ma'am, Anita ma'am, and all the organizers. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, Father, for your enlightening words. It was rightly said by Harriet Beecher Stowe, women are the real architects of this society. I deem it a great privilege and honor to introduce our resource person, squadron leader Dimple Rawat, and our moderator, Ms. Shikha Verma, for the day. A person who hardly needs an introduction, she has made all of us proud of her distinguished work in numerous capacities, be it education or management. Squadron leader Dimple Rawat is currently the Deputy General Manager HR at Barco and the State Council member at Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, UP HR. She is an HR leader with over 20 years of rich experience in developing and managing HR development and contributing to productivity, culture, and cost-saving initiatives with focus on overall organization development, change management, business excellence, and transformation. We welcome you, ma'am. A person who is an inspiration to all, Shikha Verma is a versatile and dynamic OD and learning and development professional with 17 years of rich experience across top multinationals spanning IT, manufacturing, and FMCG industry. She is a behavioral skills and personality development expert with exemplary track record of training diverse group across all categories. A state council member at Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, she is fully committed to uplifting and empowering women and is currently on a drive to spread well-being and happiness. We welcome you, ma'am. I now hand over the session to Squadron Leader Dimple Rawat and Ms. Shikha Verma. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so very much. Father, your words have been extremely enlightening. I love the definition of, equality being more to do with love and the feeling of belonging. So that automatically takes care of a lot of requirements. Thank you so much for providing this privilege to us to interact with the students today and to share from our life's experiences. I'd also like to deeply extend a gratitude to Professor R. Anita, Dean Academics, and Mrs. Dhanam Teresa, Head of Department for Women Empowerment Cell, for putting this session together, which is a pertinent topic with such a beautiful theme. The best thing about you is you. It's empowering in itself. And I feel that as a nation, while we are poised to reach a 5 trillion mark, as an economy, that is easily achievable if every single woman starts to contribute. Because we have so much strength and we contribute to 48% of the population today. It's an honor and such a delight to be in conversation with our esteemed speaker, Dimple Rawat, for who I think the statement "Kar har Maidan Fateh" is absolutely befitting. She served the Indian Air Force for good 11 years as the SSC officer and then transitioned into the corporate profile for the last 8-9 years, and she's done fantastic. Thank you so much, Dimple, for taking our time for this conversation today.
Thank you, Shikha. Totally privilege is mine. Thank you.
Welcome so much. I wanted to check with you, Dimple, today. When you look back at life, what has the journey been for you like? We'd really like to understand from you briefly, right from your childhood till today. How do you see it?
Okay. So first of all, would like to thank Principal Sir. Such a, I think insightful words he has used. And starting talking about my journey, Shikha, I'm Spondylitis Dimple. I'm an HR professional with 21 years of experience and 11 years of engineering experience. So when we talk about the journey, I think the most important part is the childhood, I would say, which has major influence in your life. We are three sisters, and I'm the eldest of all. And my father, he was into government job. So we kept moving from one place to other, every 4 to 5 years. So making new friends, new places, new teachers, new school was always there, but I think it was never a big challenge for us. So we three sisters were born in 70s, and I was born in mid 70. And those days, it used to be a challenge for a person who had three daughters, no son.
I
But
can
I
so
think
resonate because I'm also three sisters.
okay, great. So I think that we are very lucky because my father is very visionary. See, he always inspired us to dream big. He said, you can achieve anything in your life if you are committed to it, if you have a sound education, and focus on what you want to really, chase your dreams and be ambitious. And I think similarly, my mother also had major influence on us. So she used to say that whatever you become, you should always be humble, have gratitude to God, and kind and compassionate. So this was our upbringing. I'm in very conducive environment at home. People used to tell my dad that you need to save a lot of money for the marriages of your daughter, but he used to say, no, they are more than the sons to me. So
Wow.
a lot of inspiration we got at home. So then I went for my engineering at Bapura Vishnu College of Engineering. When I was in second year, I encountered a photograph of a lady officer, and she was in uniform, maybe from army. And I came to know that the defense have started inducting women officers as short service commission officers. So I said, this is a good thing because women were not there. And down those days, girls were tagged to be domesticated, and they were more, were into the soft skill jobs.
Yeah.
So then I said, okay, I need to challenge the status quo. And my friends at school, I did my schooling from Kendra Vidyalayas. So different schools, I have all my friends from Fauji background, I would say. So they used to tell me the life is very adventurous and very challenging. I said, I will do this. I will prove everybody that I can. Because then it became my passion to join the forces. I didn't.
Wow.
I mean, not only Air Force, any force I wanted to join. So I started preparing myself for the exams. I gave Air Force FCAT. It stands for Air Force Combined Aptitude Test. So I
Okay.
cleared that, and then I was called for the SSB, Short Service Selection Board. So it's a 5 days comprehensive exam. So first day is the psychological exam, and then there is a group discussion, group task, individual task, and then finally there is a panel interview. So I think that was one of the biggest day of my life when my name was declared. The officer, he took my name that I have cleared and I have to now undergo the medical for joining the Indian Air Force. And I joined Indian Air Force in the engineering branch. And I'm trained in surface to air Pichura missiles. And then I joined in on 6th of July 1998. And it has been a wonderful journey, I would say. I learned a lot. I participated in both awards, Kargil and Operation Parakram, and which taught me a lot. I think because of this war, I learned the importance of working in a team. You cannot, win the war if you're working alone. You need to work in a team. Decisions, very important. The decisions and quick decisions, right and quick decisions are very important, I think. And then it is that more you practice in peace, there's a saying in defense, more you sweat in peace, less you bleed in war. So all these
Wow.
lessons I joined,
That
I
is
think.
so true. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. So this was my journey of Air Force, and after that, I did a course from IIM Calcutta. I did my MBA in HR, and then I joined Wendelande Industry. It's a Dutch company, and I joined as HR head for that company. There were two companies. I was HR head for both the companies, and it was great learning for me. For last 8.5 years, I'm associated with Barco Electronics. So its headquarters is in Belgium, and I'm working in Noida. So this is about my journey, I would say, Shikha.
Tremendous journey, I must say. What a challenging spirit you have, Dimple. Extremely admirable. I think at that time these choices weren't easy, especially for women to make a mark in the defense forces. Hats off to you for that. I totally admire that spirit. I've also realized over years that while we have plans for our life also has plans for us, and through these ups and downs, you're bound to get a lot of learnings. So, what have been your key learnings throughout this journey, Dimple?
Shikha, many, but I think just to respect the time, let's touch upon 2 to 3 learnings which are very close to my heart. So, Shikha, we have grown, reading these quotes. There is
Uh-huh.
no substitute to hard work, and
Yeah.
hard work never go wasted. It is very true. It is my life mantra, and
Mhm.
these are not quotes. I mean, the dream will only remain dream if you don't work hard, if you are not disciplined, if you do not perform, if you don't improve every day. So hard
True.
work, I think that I have learned that whether I was in defense or
Mhm.
in corporate, that has been my life mantra. That's been my learning, one of my learning, which I tell to my children also. Second, I think very important is agility and adaptability.
Mhm.
So the quicker you adopt, better it is. If you don't adopt, your position will be taken by somebody else who is more adaptable and more agile. So very important. So if you see my journey, I was inducted and commissioned as engineer in the
Mhm.
missiles. But when I was offered another role of HR manager, we used to call those days adjutant, flight commander
Uh-huh.
HR. So there were 15 officers, and the commanding officer asked me, "Would you like to take over this role?" I immediately said yes. I thought I will figure it out later on, but first we need to pick the role and then, work hard towards that. So I was adaptable. This was really good for me. And when I came out, I totally, moved my career into HR because by then I realized that HR is my passion. HR is into my blood, and I really like this part of connectivity, what father also said. So the
Yeah.
human connections and all, and the culture, corporate culture was totally different. So I adopted to that culture. So I think best example, Shika, would be the new normal, what we are calling today, because of the unprecedented tough time of Corona. So how the world has beautifully converted or adapted to the new normal. We are all working from homes. Like Barco has a factory, so we are running the factory, but with all the SOPs, very strict SOPs, social distancing. We're giving the mask every day to people, and we didn't have any case in the office. So I think this is the beauty, how beautifully we all have, adopted to ourselves. I think third learning for me has been courage.
Ah,
Very important, Shika. Everyone, all the women, all the men, everybody needs to be courageous in two sense, I would say. If you're courageous, when you can become courageous? When you're doing the right things,
yeah,
you are not doing anything to please anybody else. You are ethical. If you are ethical, people will trust you. You will have a great credibility, right?
so
So this
true.
is
Yeah,
a part of being courageous. I think second, which I had adopted in my life is that you need to be work on the self-awareness, your self-development, and it is very important to take feedback. So
yeah.
our program today is for the MBA students. So they all must have read the Johari window. There are
Yeah.
four quadrants, and one
Yeah, we've
quadrant
all
says.
read that when we grew up. Yeah.
So one quadrant says known to other and unknown to you. So there would be a few things which you will be lacking, which would be your weaknesses, and those will be known to your peers, your bosses. So it is very important to take that feedback from your peers and work on that. Very important, because you should not take it as your ego that I am right, but try to learn the and make those weaknesses as your strength. And also, never be scared of discussing the performance with your managers. Very important for all of us. I think these are the few learnings that I would say.
Very, very good points, and all of them are so relevant in today's time and era. I think going with the flow, being adaptable, also being open to criticism for that matter, and analyzing it positively for yourself. These are some insights that are absolutely bang on, especially for us students. I think they need to realize that there is no shortcut to success. You really need to take the stairs eventually, and hard work doesn't go waste even once. I'm just reminded of this small story that I, came across a couple of months ago. It's between a crab and a centipede. So there's this crab who walks up to the centipede and asks him that you have 100 legs. How do you actually decide which leg to put first? And the centipede starts to think about it, and he thinks so much so that he starts to get confused, ending up absolutely crippled. And the centipede is not able to move after that. I think fear has that kind of impact on our minds. And I have realized that over the years of our life, for women, especially, there are so many aspects where you face fear, where you face rejections. You have, your own failures in life that put you down. How do you see fear, rejections, and failure? What's your take on that, Dipal?
Yeah, I think, Chika, very good question, because we are all interested in the success stories. But I think, yeah. So failure is a stepping stone for success. Career is a journey where you will have ups and many downs. I'm telling you, the students who will be joining the corporate world now. So never get demotivated by that. The failure should actually be helping you building your resilience and
Mm.
persistence, I would say. So you remember Thomas Edison? So he failed 1,000 times, and the light bulb was created 1,001 times. So it is okay to fail and then get up and again fight back. So successful people, they always analyze what are the factors, what is attributing to this failure. Is it their personal factors, maybe the skill, knowledge, or capabilities, or it is external factors like the government laws changing or legal, anything like pandemic. So
Mhm.
accordingly, in the next stint, they don't fail, they always apply, they improve on. I think failure would be bad, Shikha, if we do not try due to the fear of failure. And secondly, if we keep committing the same mistake, you
Mhm.
are not improving on. So you are ignoring those mistakes. That's a big blunder. And then you will lose the trust of your team members, of your bosses, your credibility will be gone. So it's very important that we need to work on these failures. So I will just give you example of one or two people. We all know Elon Musk. So he
Yes.
is third richest person on the in the world. You remember Shikha PayPal? He was one of the co-founder, and he
Uh-huh.
was kicked out of that. He was asked to leave.
Imagine,
The
had he been crushed at that time and had he never tried. what would
Yes.
have happened? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So SpaceX three launches failed, and he was at the verge of, totally being bankrupt. And now his net worth is $50 billion. And his third example is his cars, Tesla cars. Nobody those days, people had actually written it off. They didn't believe that the Tesla kind of cars can come, and just see the business today. I really
Mm,
like the quote by him that had I not failed, I would have not innovated. The
wonderful.
creativity is directly proportional to the failures. That is what has been written by him. So another example of Steve Jobs. You
Yeah.
remember he was thrown out of Apple, which was his own creation. And
Yes.
after 11 years, he joined, right? He
Yes.
joined back as CEO. So I think don't be scared of failure. And I always tell everyone that when you are doing the storytelling, it should be part of your, storytelling. And get back, give it back. Yeah.
Wow. One needs to take pride actually in these failures, and rejections are nothing but they are detours in your journey. And I always feel that your drive to success always have to be greater than the fear of failure. That's when you push yourself and you reach beyond boundaries despite those failures, and never ever give up. I think those are very important insights that you shared, Dimple. I honestly feel that for all our students today who are transitioning into a corporate world, being business students, they also ought to understand certain acts like the Porsche has been implemented for women empowerment specifically. If you can share something about that.
I think, Shika, I would request you to take this question because you are an expert in POSH. So why don't you answer this?
Okay, so this is an act which came into action, Dimple, in 2013, and it's addressed very appropriately. It is titled Prohibition, Prevention, and Redressal. So I think most of the organizations have done a lot of work to establish their committees and to take care of the redressal part. They're a little long way from creating an ecosystem on the prevention aspect. So it will take some more time, perhaps. The effectiveness is also not achieved fully because of this very factor that we lack appropriate ecosystem. At the same time, I feel as women, as young employees, girls in the organization, we also lack that absolute awareness. And any act can protect us as long as we understand how to use our rights. So that lack of awareness and education is something that really makes a lot of difference. So companies have started looking into not just compliance, but also taking it a step beyond that, focusing more on zero tolerance for any disrespect for women, which is really good. But I think there's a lot of journey that we need to travel as women. Our own internal identity needs to shift. And our ability to take action is also very, very important. So while we need to equip ourselves with the knowledge of the act, what's also important is that we equip ourselves with other tools like perhaps self-defense, having helpline numbers on our phone, pretty handy. Also, ensuring that your GPS tracking is on and somebody in your family is constantly in touch and can know where you are. And last but not the least, be always alert. I think most of the girls and the women face untoward instances when they drop their guard. So alertness or being, always aware of your surroundings, that does wonders. The sad part is the recent research shows, Dimple, that 78% cases still are going unreported in companies.
Yeah.
And I think largely this is happening because of our upbringing. As women, we all believe in keeping quiet. We want to tolerate, or we are made to tolerate. At the same time, it's difficult for us to exercise our voice or to take a stand sometimes. So I think that's where the real journey is. We need to start strengthening ourselves and doubly being aware of how to take matters forward. So equipping yourself is one part of it, educating is one part of it, but at the same time, I think overcoming fears, like you rightly said, is extremely, extremely essential. So we need to have courage. Like Mother Teresa says, there are no great acts in the world. There are just acts done with a lot of love. And I totally go back to what Father also mentioned. Love connects and love uplifts each one of us. And we have something to belong to, when we stand for each other. So I think that's the right approach to this. I also realize women empowerment, like we're talking about today, is it understood completely, or is it understood in a very myopic way? What's your definition of women empowerment, so to say, Dimple?
Thank you, Shika. First of all, I think beautifully you narrated the law, and I'm so happy that their college also have a women's cell, right? So they
Yes.
must also be, yeah, that's really good. And I think more colleges should take the model of this college, St. Joseph College, PG College, and they should also work on these lines. Shikha, now talking about the women empowerment, to me, it is increasing and improving, on the strength of the woman. So
Mm-hmm.
I think when the girl child will be brought up like an individual, not as a girl, then it is an empowerment. I think when they know the rights, they know how to take the rights, they are financially independent, they have right to education, they are taking good education, and they're working in a comfortable working environment, and they have power. Most important, I think, to change or to control their lives, not only at home, but also outside. So this is very important. So if you ask me, Shika, where we are in this journey of women empowerment, so not a good news, I would say. We are not even in the middle of the journey. So when, recently, I think first week of September, I read one article. This was from the UN Women Division. So they had done a survey called Reality Check on gender equality. Not even one country qualified for it. I mean, we are not talking about only India. Not even any other foreign country qualified for that. Very surprising figures or data you will see. As you have already mentioned that the world, population 50%, world population consists of women. 30% of the labor force is women, and 60% of the women they get 10% of the wages of the world. And you'll be surprised to know only 1% of the world property is on women's name. So I think we have to, way to go. I would say way to go. Yeah.
Wow. Those are some very important insights you shared. In fact, I think Bill and Melinda Gates Research Foundation also did some survey, and they figured out, though it's been good 40 years, we've taken our steps and measures for women empowerment, but we have centuries to go even today. There's a long way to reach there, and you're so right when you mentioned that our financial independence, our education, how you're being raised as an individual, these have a big role to play, eventually to make us feel empowered and to give us the overall sense. But I would want to check with you, Dimple, how do you think we can change this or contribute towards this objective as an individual? I think each one of us, all the girls out there, the Josephites, would want to know this.
Yeah, sure. So, Shika, I think you remember when we were just discussing about the title of today's program. So, Professor Anita, she told us that she would like to give the title as Women Empowerment. Then we
Yeah.
started brainstorming that we should put some suffix to it,
Uh-huh.
and yeah. So there we said that the best thing about women is or their power. I mean, this is a superpower that we are women. So we put this topic as the best thing about you is you. So this is really deep thought I have gone to it. So I think what we can do as women, I think it all starts with Shika, you, me, and these girls who are listening to the session today. So we
Yeah.
all need to know the self worth first. We need to have that confidence. We need to know that we can do it. And education, I think, is the most important weapon which can actually fight any war. So they're very important, and I think we need to mentor our women. We need to stand for each other, I would say, and very, very, very important. I mean that you support each other, and I think government also need to do a lot of things in these directions. Where the women given a better working environment, flexi hours. So I think this is what are my views
Very
on
true.
women.
In fact, I had this very interesting conversation yesterday with one of my LinkedIn connects, Dimple, and I was stumped because she's from Denmark, and we got talking about women empowerment because that was a commonality. And then she shared that Denmark is on the other side of the spectrum. They have men empowerment as one of their focus areas. So while the world is grappling with women empowerment, there are certain spaces or certain parts of the country that have the other challenges too. So I love what she said. It's at the end of the day, it's about empowerment of humanity. It's about respect for every single individual. And I think that's a really good, fair, balanced stand on this subject. And it's important, even we as Wiki UPHR Council are currently committed to this purpose, and we're spreading the word across by educating more women, by training them, by providing them with some kind of employability to make them self-reliant. So I think it's important that we keep the word balance in mind. That's extremely crucial, because at the end of the day, it's about respect for every single individual. And with that, I'd want to, yeah. And it's unfortunate, we don't see as many women leaders, despite having so much capability, despite having all the talent in the world and the education to back us. What are some factors, Dimple, you feel are the reasons behind that?
So I think the sad part I would say is there was a survey which was done in 2002, and the figures were 15 to 16% women were in the leadership role those years. And when
Hmm.
the same figure was repeated in 2019, the figures did not change. So we have not actually progressed on the leadership, role. So, Shikha, I will just like to tell everyone a riddle, which is not a fun riddle. I also heard 2 3 days back. So, this riddle was asked in the Boston, University to 200 students, comprising of all boys and girls. So the riddle was a son and a father. They're traveling by a car. The car met with an accident. Father dies, and the boy is rushed to the hospital, and he is rushed to the operation theater because he is. It was a question of his life and death. So super surgeon was called. So super surgeon comes and sees the boy and says, "I can't operate on this boy. He's my son." So then the professor asked everyone that what is the relation between the father has already died in the car. So what is the relation? So the answer said the person in the car must be the robot, or the person in the car must be the father of the church, or
Wow.
stepfather. Only 40% student got it right. The answer was Chika. The super surgeon was his mother, his
Oh,
mom. So, I think what I want to give the message here is that we as women need to know our strength. We need to believe ourselves that we can do it. The leadership, we are made for the leadership role. We can perform it, and it is just matter of our upskilling ourselves, believing ourselves, knowing the self worth. I think second thing I would say that we need to have the good supportive ecosystem. We don't have that right now. So Shika, when we leave our office, when I start my car, the office is not yet over, and now my mind is cluttered with what I have to be, what would be the dinner. Children would be waiting for me for the homework, and then you have
stories
to
of our
be
life.
yeah, same with the same energy. You have to listen to the stories of children, and I think there is so much. So women, I think supportive ecosystem is needed, where you have flexi hours, you can work from anywhere, and you can contribute to the your bit. And other factor which we have already covered, I think sound education mentoring will play a very important role. So where they are mentored by the women who are already in the leadership role, they support each other. I think these would be a few, you know, reasons, or where which can help,
True.
the women to come into the leadership role.
So women aren't really raising just children, we're actually raising a complete generation, which is the
Yeah,
youth, the future of our country. So I
yeah,
think those requirements are quite justified and much required. I think decision making authorities need to give it a real serious thought, because it's affecting the social fabric. When mothers don't give time to the children back home, their entire value system is getting affected at the end of the day. And
very
we all know the influx of technology and how digital era is affecting our children. So I think it's high time that these things need to be looked at from a balancing perspective, and certain good practices are brought in the forefront. I really loved what Rashmi Nadar Malhotra, the current chairperson of HCS, said. She's saying women don't really need to be provided with anything. They're already empowered. All that is missing is that freedom to make their own choices and to take actions based on that. So I think that's where our society needs to start, evolving on that front. So yeah, very, very important aspects that you've shared. What's your message for the students today on success, Dimple, if you can share?
Okay. I think I would like to tell them that they need to dream big. They need to have the ambitions, right? The dreams will be dreamed without any goals. So first of all, set the goals. The short term, 2 to 3 years goal. Then where you want to see yourself after 5 years, long term goal, and then the life goals, right?
Hmm.
There is a bridge between the dreams and the present that is called the discipline. So I will definitely tell them that they need to have the self discipline. Shikha, there was an interview of Virat Kohli. So
Mm-hmm.
where I was asked that how come in IPL he made 4 centuries. So the answer was sheer self-discipline. So he says it
Wow.
is so boring to practice every day, going to the net, but I promise myself every day that I will improve at least 0.1% or 1 point I will improve on as compared to the yesterday. I really liked it. So I would like to tell the student also that as you will be entering the corporate world, you will be working for 5 days. So don't think that these 2 extra days, Saturday and Sunday, are for rest. I mean, one day I do still that. One day I dedicate only for my development. So I will do online courses. I will read something. I will do more of meditation. So one day they should dedicate for their self development, and one day they can relax and recoup themselves. Second advice I would like to give them is that they need to be lifelong students, and I am. I mean, don't think that once your MBA is over, you will not open your books again. So
Yeah,
very
nobody
important.
wants to touch the books again.
I
So
know.
yeah.
It is very important, you need to read the newspaper. Mint newspaper is very good. All MBA, students, all people who join the corporate world should read Mint, which is a comprehensive newspaper which has all information about industry trends, government policies, a lot of things are there. So keep reading the book, keep upskilling yourself, keep doing some courses, certification. Very important. Read the biographies. Read the stories of failure. Success stories everybody reads, but learn from their failures. So I think do that. Most important, Shikha, would be that when you come to any, you join HR, you join marketing or finance. Most important is the product of the company where you have joined. That's how you can support the businesses. You will have that knowledge. You will have more proud and sense of belongingness once you know the product. And also, I would like to tell them that there is no job which is small or big. Huh? So, with
Mm.
21 years of experience, last week I was in my office checking the files of employees with my office boy. Nothing wrong. I mean, you learn every time, when you are doing something. So, very, very important to know your business. Be ethical, be a good human being. If you are ethical, you will have, the people will start trusting you. So, very
Yeah.
important. And I think most important, be healthy. Not only in today's scenario, but because today you are girls, tomorrow you will be women. It is a long journey. If you are healthy, you can keep the ecosystem running and do some meditation, get up early in the morning, go for a run, follow your hobby, develop some hobbies, I would say.
I
So
know
these
for a
are
fact you do that every day, right? You get up at 4:30, if I'm not wrong. I was so inspired. I said I get up at 6, and I thought that was early enough. But your discipline is completely admirable, and you still do your physical work and exercises despite your such a hectic schedule. I love what you said about discipline being a bridge. I think that's one thing that we all need to imbibe in ourselves and instill in our children as well. So that's a very, very good point. And I think everyday effort is what helps you to create a muscle memory also. So you don't realize that when it's a hard time, when you have some difficulty, that daily practice is what brings you that edge over anybody else in the similar space. So those are some excellent insights, Dimple. I'm also curious that our work canvas is changing. Today, if you and I look at the way the workspace is evolving, the practices that we're doing, work from home, nobody ever imagined it will become a norm. It's become a new reality for us. And with that, a lot of new challenges have also come. And I think it's important that we realize that some of the skills that we currently are operating on may become redundant and some new skills will become more relevant. So, what are those new skills, according to you, that will become the future skills for most of us?
okay. I think very relevant question in today's scenario. So first would be, we all know digitized world. So don't think that the if you are doing MBA in HR or marketing, you need to be tech savvy. I would say, you all need to know what the technology is. Otherwise, we will be left behind. So this is one thing, and I think secondly, the specialization in one skill will not help. So there used to be a saying, "Jack of all, master of one," but I think today it is Jack of all and master of some. So you need
Some,
to
yeah.
develop a specialize in 2 to 3 things for a better career, switch also. And today it is the world of data, big data, and you talking about AIs, you talking about machine learnings. And I think as HR also, or as anyone who has done the MBA, it is very important to know the data. So data analytics, one we are talking about the data science. So that would be one skill which is already on, in now. So these and some of the personal attribute would be you need to develop a listening skill. So don't think that you are an MBA student, you have to prove yourself. You don't be in a hurry. So go and listen to the people first who are already there in the field. Learn from them. So have you heard of that story of Nelson Mandela? That his father was the chief of the tribe. So whenever he used to go for the meetings, he used to take Nelson along, and then he saw that everybody used to sit in a circle, and his father used to sit in the center, and he used to listen to everyone first, and then he used to speak at the end. So he says that that gives you the perspective of everybody, what they are thinking, and the people also feel that that they are heard. So this is a very important skill that we all need to learn. And I think now looking at today's scenario, we are looking for people, HR people, leaders, everyone who are more compassionate, who have empathy in
Yeah,
them. So this
very
would be one
important.
thing which we would be looking forward. At last, not the least, I would say, Shikha, learning and unlearning. Unlearning is also very important. Like you and me, we are in this industry for last 21 years. Huh? So we have learned the things which were there 20 years back, like in Air Force. We used to work only on the papers. So I used to tell the person that, type this and get it back to me. So now that those days are gone. So we have to be tech savvy, and you need to be adaptable to change.
You need to
And
change like that, yes.
yeah, so I think these will be the few the skill set which I think would be relevant in future.
Well said, Dimple. I think all the points you made are extremely relevant. And to my assessment, it's important that all of us, all the students, Yosephites, need to also start focusing on self mastery, strengthening yourself from inside. And like you said, meditation or, compassion, these are attributes that will be most sought of in the coming times, because staying calm despite crisis is a much required, attribute in the coming era. And the principle of unlearning and relearning, it should be like a bible or a philosophy of life at all times, because it keeps you on your toes, it keeps you learning, it keeps you growing constantly throughout your life. So such relevant points, such wonderful insights you've shared, Dimple, today. I've had a lot of good time into this conversation, and I'm hoping that our students learned a lot during this discussion. I would want to open this floor for questions. So if anybody would like to ask anything from Dimple ma'am, we have time enough to take 2-3 questions from the audience now.
Sure, sure. I would be happy to answer.
Yeah, let's just wait to see some questions. Anybody would like to ask some questions, you can feel free to post it on the chat box, please. Meanwhile, I'm getting reminded of a story also, Dimple. This is similar to what you just mentioned about what was the fact you were talking about? Practice. Yeah, sorry. I'm seeing a question. One second. Ma'am, please tell us about self-defense. This is a question from Nidhi Lal.
Okay. So would you like to take this? Because you spoke about POSH and self-defense.
Honestly, self-defense is something that now you have a lot of agencies doing these trainings. So when I was in Yamaha, we had licensed with a couple of these subject matter experts. They come into your organization, they can come to schools, and they actually train you on basic self-defense techniques. So everything from if somebody's holding you from behind, or has tied your hands and stuff like that. Very simple techniques and very foolproof mechanisms they would give as a tip off. And the most important aspect is how do you shout out for help, because most of the girls freeze when a moment of such kind of a threat gets created. So they condition you and allow you to go through that process of training your brain to not keep quiet and to shout out a loud no. So I think the practice of doing that also was a huge mechanism that we got equipped with during the training. So for self-defense, all you need is to reach out to such agencies. They are from the army background, they are from martial arts background, and they are well trained, so they can give you a lot of tips on safeguarding yourself. And I hear Tommy Riddle saying pepper spray is very good, absolutely good for self-defense. Please keep
add
your
what Shikha said. We also had the session on Women's Day, and it's very effective, because you really don't know. So when such kind of situation, God forbid, happens, so those, that start resonating into your mind. So you don't have to be scared and give that sense of, that you are scared to the other person. So I very well, and I think colleges can have this session under Women Empowerment Cell once in a year or twice in a year. So just to reinforce the same.
True.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Feel free to ask. Okay, so Aaron Sujoy says, how do you get the courage to go outside after things that are happening? What keeps you going forward? So, yeah, very relevant question, Aaron.
Yeah. Okay. So he's talking about the corona or
I think he's talking about women treatment and problems that girls are facing.
Yeah.
What gives you that courage? Yeah.
I think good question, Aaron. Thank you so much. I think it all starts with you. It starts with me. I have my own inspirations, and I know I have to do it, and it's easy. I mean, it is not difficult once you know. And why should you treat yourself less than a male? Why should we be scared of? So I think now there are so many organizations, NGOs, organization like Wiki. We are working on the women empowerment and upliftment, and I think I have already had this journey. Now I'm at this stage where I can empower more women, enable more women, uplift more women. So I'm just doing my bit, and I think the inspiration comes from my own self. Then I think my family. So I forgot to tell you all, I have three beautiful children. The eldest one, she is into now engineering, and I'm a wife of defense officer. So I think they all are my force multiplier. They also give me energy at home. So it is the factors are all, I think, your ecosystem and your own self. You
Very
need to, yeah. So meditation and also help. So this would be.
And I think that just to add to what you just mentioned, Dimple, I think it's a lot to do with your own value system. When you don't want any girl to go through any of that, it's important to have courage and do something about it. So I think that also drives powerful women like you to move forward and to continue to strive for other women. So yeah. We have one more question. What are the things corporate can do for self-defense learning among women? This is from Shambhavi Shukla.
Okay. So I think we are already doing it every year. I think everybody should do it. All the companies should do it. And this can be picked up, Shikha, as a point for our wiki also. So
Yes.
HR can be requested to repeat this session like we had in Barco, where we had invited all the girls and we did a live Facebook session. And where the instructor, she was also a lady. She came and she was a trained self-defense instructor, and she taught us, exactly what you said. You are like this, and then you need to. How do you hit hard? All those things. So I think this could be reinforced, and we have to tell everyone to do it. So how to do the marketing of this? We can have the posters, and some people like Shika, you are so good in posting. Good articles at LinkedIn, you can post it. That self-defense is so important. So we can start it with one person. I mean, you do it and we all share, and all the colleges adopt to it. And I think the corporate will start doing it. So
Yeah.
because are also, they are also looking forward to doing something for the women. So it
True,
is
true.
all up to us how we project it and how we give them a picture, and it's possible, I would say.
Absolutely, it is, and we'll get going on that. I think with that we'll wrap up the session to respect time. And for me, it's important to share one more statement that I believe history is gone. You know, women need to start living their life out of their own imagination.
Yes.
Leave aside the history. So each step we take, each measure we take, will count for the future generations. We just need to remember that. And thank you so much for enlightening us, Dimple, with all your insights and your life's journey. They're so precious thoughts. I humbly thank St. Joseph Degree and PG College and the authorities here for putting this together and allowing Wiki UPHR team to contribute on this very important theme and topic. I'd hand over this session now to Professor Aranita, ma'am, Dean Academics.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Dimple ma'am and Shika ma'am. Good morning, Father Dr. Sundar Reddy Garu, Principal, St. Joseph Degree and PG College, Coordinator Rawat ma'am, Shika ma'am, broadcasting team, and my dear faculty members and dear students and participants. It's my privilege and honor to propose the formal vote of thanks on behalf of Women Empowerment Cell, St. Joseph Degree and PG College. As they say, there's no force more forcer than a woman when she is determined to rise. Yes, we have seen perfect two examples with us. I take this opportunity to thank our beloved principal for giving us this platform to interact with our WICCI members for the benefit of our students. Thank you, Father. Thank you for your insightful words on quality. I thank our speaker of the day, Rawat ma'am from Barco, for getting connected to LinkedIn. It was a great pleasure, ma'am, speaking to you. Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring journey. Yes, life is adventurous and challenging, and it was very nice listening to you how you have adapted yourself with the life. Well said, ma'am. Yes, we need to improve ourselves without ego by taking feedback from other colleagues and people. We shall surely be doing that. Even our students also will imbibe in them during our course of our teaching too. And your examples of Edison, Tesla cars, Steve Jobs, Virat Kohli are really very motivating lessons, ma'am. Thank you for sparing your time. And then, yes, your message is well taken by the students, setting goals and being a lifelong learner. Yes, learning should not stop once they graduate. Yes, they will be surely a lifelong learners, ma'am. This is our one of our main objective of our programs too, that they should be a lifelong learner. And as truly said, yes, practice makes a person perfect. Yes, we will surely imbibe on students to read the biographies of different people so that they learn from the failures of them. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for being there with us and accepting our invitation. I thank our dynamic Shika ma'am. Yes, I'm very happy to get connected to you, ma'am. Your smile is really enticing. Yes, we love that smile of yours. Yes, ma'am. As you said, we have planning for life, and life also has some plan for us. And then, as you said, there are no shortcut for success. Yes, the drive for success should be greater than your failures. These are well taken words, ma'am. Really, they are very motivating to our students too. Your knowledge sharing on Posh is very great, and then our students are going to surely master themselves. Self mastering and the principle of unlearning and relearning will be taken by us, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking this initiative to conduct this particular interactive session, ma'am. I thank Shambhavi ma'am and other people who are part of WICCI for their support to broadcast this particular program. I thank the Women Empowerment Cell and Dr. Rani ma'am and student convener Firdaus for their initiative to conduct this beautiful session and for their introductory speech for this particular session. I thank our head of department, Mrs. Anantresa, and Dean Academics, Professor R. Anita, myself, for the coordination and support to conduct this Women Empowerment session. The best about you is you, in collaboration with WICCI, Uttar Pradesh HR Council. I thank our faculty members and all our dear UG and PG students for the active participation. I thank our dear participants for your instant feedback on this session. Yes, I was very happy reading that statement. Where there is women, there's magic. Yes, yes, that's true. Yes, and
Wow.
then women together can build a beautiful and peaceful world. Yes, it was very inspiring for us reading that particular statement. And then we wish that we have a very long-term relationship and collaboration with WICCI, ma'am, for all the future programs that we are going to do for our women. Yes, and as well as yes, boys too. Hope to see some more sessions in future and a collaboration with you, ma'am. Thanks a lot
Definitely.
for your support and then your that initiative to conduct this program for our students. Thank you, one and all.
A pleasure. Absolute delight and an honor, ma'am.
And
Thank you.
yeah, I'm very happy that the students are so inspired. Huh? So the
Yes,
purpose of this session is successful then.
They're very
yes,
passionate and they're extremely dedicated students. I must thank each one of them. And to the Women Empowerment Cell, you guys are doing some brilliant work. So hats off to you.
Yeah, yeah.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.